It was a decision that shook the very foundations of the Danish monarchy, an announcement so abrupt, so deeply personal, and so emotionally charged that it left not only the public stunned but Prince Joachim of Denmark utterly heartbroken. In the twilight hours of a seemingly ordinary autumn day, Queen Margrethe II, Denmark's longest reigning monarch, made a declaration that sent ripples through the royal household and ignited a wave of public sympathy and debate. With words as sharp as they were final, she stripped Prince Joachim's 4 children of their royal titles, an act that not only altered their status in the royal pecking order but also pierced deeply into the fabric of a family already navigating complex dynamics. The Queen stated the move was intended to give the children greater freedom and independence. But behind those carefully chosen words, behind the veil of modern royal reform, lay a web of unspoken tensions, raw emotions, and a father's broken heart. Prince Joachim, the Queen's youngest son, did not mince his words in the aftermath. Visibly emotional and deeply pained, he revealed that he and his children were blindsided by the decision. There had been no proper consultation, no family meeting, no preparation for the seismic shift in their identities. For Prince Joachim, this wasn't about protocol or public image, this was about his children. Count Nikolai, Count Felix, Count Henrik, and Countess Athena, once known as princes and princess in the House of Glucksburg, were now reduced to noble titles that pushed them further away from the monarchy and closer to civilian life. And this reclassification wasn't just symbolic, it meant a disconnection from the institution that had defined their lives from birth. Imagine growing up believing you were a prince or a princess, your lineage an inherent part of your identity, your place in history assured, only to be told, without warning, that the crown no longer recognizes you as such. That's exactly what happened to Prince Joachim's children. The emotional toll on them, especially the younger ones like Athena and Henrik, is immeasurable. These were not just royal titles, they were personal affirmations of belonging, identity, and history. For Prince Joachim, it felt like a rejection not just of his children, but of himself. A message that they were no longer deemed essential, no longer part of the future fabric of the royal family. It was a wound that cut deep, not just as a prince, but as a father. The Queen defended her decision as necessary for the modernization of the monarchy. She cited examples from other European royal houses, pointing out how titles and roles were being streamlined to reflect contemporary times. But what made this case particularly jarring was the sheer suddenness and coldness with which it was executed. Prince Joachim and his wife, Princess Marie, spoke openly about how they were informed only days before the public announcement, leaving no time to prepare the children emotionally or practically. The children found out from schoolmates, from media reports, stripped of their heritage through a press release. And while royal titles may appear superficial to some, for those born into monarchy, they carry deep cultural, historical, and familial meaning. The fracture between Queen Margrethe and Prince Joachim widened as public sympathy shifted in favor of the prince. His candid interviews, marked by visible pain and restrained frustration, painted the picture of a man who had spent years faithfully serving his nation, only to be told his branch of the family tree was no longer needed. The Queen, known for her stern adherence to duty, suddenly seemed distant, even harsh. For a monarch who had spent decades cultivating a strong public image as a unifying figure, the move felt strangely impersonal and bureaucratic. It raised questions not only about her relationship with her younger son but also about the internal politics of the Danish royal family. Adding to the emotional complexity was the contrast between Prince Joachim's children and those of Crown Prince Frederik, the heir apparent. While Prince Christian, Princess Isabella, and the twins Vincent and Josephine remained firmly ensconced in royal roles, Joachim's children are now outsiders looking in. The message seemed clear: there is only one future in the monarchy, and it belongs to the firstborn's lineage. This division within the family brought echoes of other royal houses, most notably the British royals, where the line between working royals and those sidelined has become a point of public fascination and familial strain. Prince Joachim and Princess Marie have since moved abroad, spending extended periods in France and now Washington, D.C., where Joachim serves as a defense attaché. But physical distance does not dull emotional wounds. In interviews, both parents have shared how difficult it has been to explain the changes to their children, particularly Athena, the youngest, who struggled to understand why she was no longer a princess. These conversations are not simply administrative, they are profoundly human, layered with confusion, sadness, and a sense of betrayal. The emotional cost of monarchy, often hidden beneath crowns and ceremonies, was suddenly laid bare for all to see. As public discourse grew louder, so did the calls for compassion and clarity. Was this truly about modernization, or was it a strategic reshaping of the royal image to focus solely on Crown Prince Frederick's branch of the family? If modernization was the goal, why not give the family time to transition, to prepare the children, to handle the situation with dignity and care? The lack of foresight and empathy struck a chord with the public. Denmark, a country known for its egalitarian values and deep-rooted respect for tradition, was suddenly grappling with the fallout of a royal decision that felt anything but Danish in spirit. Queen Margrethe, to her credit, issued a rare public apology, not for the decision itself, but for the pain it caused. She acknowledged that the communication could have been better, that she underestimated the emotional impact. But the damage was already done. Trust had been fractured. For Prince Joachim, the apology felt like too little, too late. His relationship with his mother, already strained by years of being the second son, now bore the weight of a very public dismissal. And though he remained respectful in public, the pain in his voice was unmistakable. Inside palace walls, the silence grew louder. Family gatherings became tense. The once tightly knit royal unit now had fault lines too visible to ignore. And at the center of it all was a father desperately trying to protect his children from a storm they never saw coming. Prince Joachim's heartbreak is not just about titles, it's about recognition, legacy, and love. It's about a man who dedicated his life to the monarchy, only to see his children pushed to its margins. It's about the invisible wounds that linger long after the cameras are gone and the press statements fade from headlines. This royal story, though set in the gilded halls of Denmark's palaces, is ultimately a deeply human one. It speaks to the pain of being excluded, the struggle to hold on to identity, and the heartbreak of watching your children suffer injustice. It is about the courage to speak out, even when it means going against the institution you were born into. Prince Joachim may no longer be at the heart of the monarchy, but in the eyes of many, he has become its most relatable figure, a man wounded, but dignified, a father first and foremost. And so, as the Danish monarchy continues its evolution, the echoes of this decision will linger. The names may change, the titles may shift, but the emotional scars left on one royal family will not fade easily. In the court of public opinion, Prince Joachim has found empathy and support. Yet inside the royal household, his children's place remains uncertain, their future a question mark in a world where lineage once meant everything. The heartbreak of being told you no longer belong in your own family is a burden no crown can ease. Do you believe that stripping royal titles for modernization is worth the emotional cost to the individuals involved? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive royal insights.